What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bulubedu Strange Things, where I share with you guys strange and mysterious stories from all over Bulubedu. Today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys a story about a livestock thief. This is a guy who has been stealing cows in Mahwa. This guy's been stealing cows in Mahwa for quite some years now. So eventually this guy, he got bewitched and he started growing a tail on his butt, just between his butt crack there on the top. A tail started poking out there. But before we get to it, for you to really appreciate this story, I have to tell you how much people from Mahwa appreciate their livestock. Like, they love their livestock. So in order for me to give you this concept in a way that you're really going to appreciate the story, I have to go back a bit further, like a couple of years back, and tell you a story about this old man from Mahwa who was also into livestock. He had cows. So he had a lot of cows. There was a time when Mahwa was hit by a drought. It was awful. Naturally, Mahwa is humid, right? Like, the heat wave there is always intense. You can even compare it to a desert, because I don't know if the soil is just poor in nutrition or what, but the trees there, there's no tree which is even taller than me. So meaning it's humid, the heat wave is horrible, and there isn't even much shade to begin with. And I heard that back in the past, before crime could be so elevated, people used to sleep outside their houses because it would be that hot. But now they can't do that anymore because of crime and stuff. Okay, I was still telling you guys this story, which is essentially going to show you guys just how much people in Mahwa appreciate and love their livestock. And you can imagine that farming animals at a humid place, or farming at all in general, is quite hard in such conditions. So that's why people love their livestock, because obviously it's not as easy as ABC. So this old man, this few years back, when Mahwa was hit by this terrible drought, grasses were dry, river streams were dry, cattle started dying one by one. Mind you, way back, our grandfathers, they didn't know how to read or count, right? So what they did was, if a man had like 12 cows or cattle, what he would do, he would keep 12 stones. Whenever the cows are getting in or out of the kraal, you know what he does? When they're getting out in the morning, when one gets out, he puts a stone on the ground until it's 12 cows getting out and 12 stones on the ground. When the cows come back, he takes the stones and put them in his bag. One, he puts the stone in the bag when one cow gets into the kraal, until all the cows get into the kraal. Why would he do this, you may ask? That's their method of counting how many cows he has, and also to see if any other cow got lost. You get me? Like, if one cow is lost, then instead of 12 stones getting into the bag, there would be one left on the ground. Then he would know that, no, man, one of my cows is missing. They would go look for it, and then they would find that it died in the field somewhere in the bushes. So this kept happening. This guy had a number of cows, like a lot. Just don't remember the exact number, but it was more than 50. So more than 50 cows. So this guy had more than 50 stones. When the cows get in, he would put them on the floor, on the ground, put the stones on the ground until all the cows are in. But his cows were never all in. They kept dying one by one because of the drought. So slowly the stones started decreasing. His cows started decreasing as well. One day in the morning, I guess he was going there to see how many cows he has left. To his dismay, he found that he had way more stones left than actual cows in the kraal. So the poor man took his own life. Couldn't stand it anymore, couldn't bear to see his cows die. He offed himself, he just hung himself right next to that kraal. There was, I don't know how to put it, like a pole on the entrance, like it was pretty tall, and then they made sort of like a frame there. There's two poles on the entrance of the kraal, two poles like this, right? Two poles on the entrance of the kraal, and then they put another pole there. I hope you get it. So he hung a rope like right over the top pole and hung himself on the entrance. In the morning, they found that he's no more. His stones are on the ground. So it was pretty much obvious that he was heartbroken from the loss of his cows. So essentially, that's how much people love their livestock in Mahwa. In fact, Mahwa is actually far from civilization. It is not yet developed. It is very, very rural. It is so rural that people still use donkeys as mode of transport, and also to cultivate their farms. You know, when they want to grow crops, they use donkeys to cultivate. So what they value most is their animals. In fact, I know this other old guy who has a lot of cattle. Being that it is as it may, he even has 3 wives, because I think that's how they even calculate wealth. Well, obviously, that's how everyone calculates wealth. When you have that many cows, cattle, then obviously you are wealthy. So you can see how much cattle mean that side. So this guy, let's get back to the main story here. This guy has been stealing these cows for a number of years. Like, he has been stealing like almost every Sunday. They would go to Tenduna, like where members of the community, they gather, they bring out their grievances to their chief or head woman or head man, the community leader. And then the community leader and his subordinates would try to find a solution to the problem. And also members of the community can also suggest solutions to whatever they are facing. So almost every Sunday, they would go have a meeting there. Horong. It's those that don't know Horonging, it's a gathering place whenever there's like meetings, the headman would call his people. The community leader would call his people, and then they would gather, and then they would discuss the community's affairs right there, right? So for a very long time, this guy has been like a thorn in everyone's butt. Everybody was complaining about this guy and how he's always stealing their livestock. Well, they didn't know if it was one guy or a group of guys or a gang. But you know, whenever there's crime, consistent crime in a community, there's always one suspect. Just that, I don't know why, but then people are almost never willing to confront the suspect. Probably maybe because they don't have hard evidence, or maybe it's because it's suspicion. Like, you know, when things start messing in the community, somebody starts leveling up. They start dressing nice, start drinking expensive booze, or just, you know, you can see immense changes in their life and how they live. So while everyone is suffering, there's going to be that guy or that group which is living large. And then you can just tell or no, this is at the expense of others. So yeah, for a lot of years, this guy has been terrorizing farmers, and almost everyone is a farmer that side. So almost everyone has livestock. So we can say he's been terrorizing everyone go Mahwa, stealing their cattle. We don't know who he was providing because he stole a lot of cattle. Like, I'm not saying he steals one cattle and then obviously it was not for slaughtering. I think he was providing somebody, maybe another farmer far from Mahwa, or I don't know. Because this guy, more than 5 people would complain that their cows are missing in one night, in the morning, or in 1 week, 10 people would complain that their cows have gone missing when they gather at the community leader's place. So these people, they started, they figured since the law is not helping out, because they did report this losses to the law, but then nothing came out of it. So they decided to take matters into their own hands and deal with the guy traditionally. So everyone be consulting wherever they consult, doing whatever they're doing to protect themselves and their livestock from this guy traditionally. But then I don't think it worked, because still their livestock kept going missing. The livestock kept going missing until this one time. I don't know if he stole from the wrong guy or what happened, but finally they got him. This guy started growing a tail between his butt crack. So he's seeking help. He wants help. He's going to sangomas, trying to get help. He has the money, he's got the resources. Remember, he's been stealing livestock. So every sangoma he goes to, they tell him they can't help him, they can't cure him of his curse, because he's hurt a lot of people. This is not the doing of one person, like a whole lot of people have been crying over him. So what they want him to do, in order for him to get help, he must just go back to these people that he stole from and apologize, each and every one of them. He must apologize to all these people that he stole from. And if there's still any money he has, or if this livestock is still somewhere, he must just confess where he took this livestock, this cattle, and if there's money, he must reimburse these people. See, the thing is, he has been doing this for years. He's wronged so many people. And I think he's got a bit of pride, because even myself, to find out this, he was chilling with someone I know, they were drinking, and he started telling that guy that he's got an issue. He's growing a tail. It's because he's been the one stealing the livestock that side. So this guy is afraid to go and confess to the people he wronged, because he believes that the community is angry with him. They are gonna murder him for what he did, or what he put them through over the years. And another thing, he's ashamed, because apparently he even stole from his own family members. Can you imagine? So he's just ashamed. And also remember, he's this guy that everybody looked up to because he had money. He was wearing nice, drinking nice, eating nice. So imagine having to go and tell everyone how you managed to acquire all that you have. And you know, it's a village, right? Obviously they're gonna take him to the headman or the community leader's place, and he's gonna have to like tell everyone right over there. Like, it's gonna be embarrassing. And imagine these days people, they've got smartphones and whatnot. This is something that he's not gonna forget for a very long time if he goes through with the apology process. So this guy, he's not apologizing, and the tail keeps growing, and it's excruciating. He can be chilling and then he can feel it, like apparently it's like this big right now. But he can't sleep, he can't do anything, he can't sit upright. The only reason he even ended up confessing that he's growing a tail to this other person that I'm telling you about, it's because they could see that this person is uncomfortable. He's just tossing and turning instead of sitting down straight, and they're sharing a seat at this tavern. You know, like there's like benches where you can sit like 3 this side, 3 that side. So this guy is just tossing and turning on the seat, and he's bothering everyone because people are trying to have a conversation. They're trying to drink their liquor, but then this guy is just busy bothering everyone because he's tossing and turning. So they ask him, what the hell is wrong with you? And finally he talks, and there it is, it's spoken out. And he says when he's tossing and turning, it's because he feels like he can feel it growing. It's as if something is trying to get out, like out of his skin, and it's like it's the bone. You see, your spinal cord, it's a bone, spinal cord. So it feels like that bone is growing, like the spinal cord is growing and out of his body. So that's how I came across this story. I visited Mahwa, and then my cousin just told me about this guy that has been stealing livestock for quite some time. And essentially that's how they dealt with him. I don't know if he ended up apologizing or what happened to him. He let the tail grow, but the way they say he was experiencing excruciating pain, if he didn't apologize and the tail kept growing, I don't think he would have survived it. Anyway, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post. Thanks. Peace out.